comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this very special Halloween edition of a Funko Popcast. I am DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And today, well, it's not really so much Halloween. I mean, it is because about 96% of the announcements for today are all from the Funkoween Reveals of last week, with a couple of announcements that were announced last minute on May 31st, which is yesterday as we're recording this podcast, because it is June 1st, actually, as we are recording this podcast. We also will have our segment, The Update, which will update our top 10 list from last week. But before we talk about these pops, are you looking for great pop protectors? Then look no further than popbox.ca. They have a variety of 4-inch and 6-inch protectors in different quantities. Do you want to get 10 protectors, 20? You can get even up to 250 pop protectors over on popbox.ca, and also use our promo code of Funko Popcast for 10% off of your entire purchase of pop protectors. The code is going on until supplies last, so go get your pop protector needs now over on popbox.ca using our code of Funko Popcast to get 10% off, and also free shipping over $75 in both Canada and the US with duty fees included.
And let me tell you guys, we're not just screwing around here. These are some great pop protectors. We own a multitude of these protectors. They are some of the best I've seen. Stop buying from EB Games. I'm not boycotting EB Games by any means, but their pop protectors are not as good. So again, use code Funko Popcast for 10% off.
Anyways, guys, let's move on to what will be day 1 and day 2 for this section of the podcast of Funkoween Reveals. So kicking off on Monday, May 24th, the Hex Girls 3-pack from Scooby-Doo, which will be exclusive to Hot Topic. We have some more Disney villain pops in various different styles. So first off, we got ourselves Captain Hook, Evil Queen, Maleficent, Lady Tremaine, Cruella de Vil, Dr. Facilier, and then we have exclusive pops of those same style pops of a skull variant of Dr. Facilier, exclusive to Box Lunch, a Cruella de Vil that's exclusive to the Funko Shop, a Hades with Board that will be exclusive to Target, Maleficent on Throne, which will be a Diamond Collection and Hot Topic exclusive, an Ursula on Throne Pop Deluxe, and then we have an Evil Queen on Throne Pop Deluxe, along with 10-inch variants of the Maleficent as Dragon Pops, one being a common, one being a glow-in-the-dark Amazon exclusive. Then we got ourselves a common Diamond Collection Elvira, Danny with Binks from Hocus Pocus, which will be a Spirit Halloween exclusive, a Jaws Pop Movie Moments, which will be exclusive to EB Games here in Canada and GameStop in the US. And to end off day 1 reveals, we have various Michael Myers pops from the movie Halloween. We have 2 new molds of Michael Myers, which we have a 4-inch variant that will be a common, and then we have a bloody variant that will be Amazon exclusive, and then we have 10-inch variants of those 4-inch pops, which one will be a common and the other will be a specialty series exclusive. To kick off day 2 of reveals, we have a Stitch in pumpkin attire, which will be exclusive to Hot Topic. Then we got ourselves a new wave of Gremlins pops, which we got ourselves Gizmo with 3D glasses, along with a flocked variant of that version, which will be a Target exclusive, a Gremlin with 3D glasses, unknown of whether this is Stripe or not, but it says Gremlin on the box, Daffy from Gremlins 2, which will be a Funko Shop exclusive, and last but not least, there will be a 10-inch variant of Gizmo with the 3D glasses, which will be exclusive to Walmart. We got ourselves a Diamond Collection variant of Emily from the Corpse Bride, which will be exclusive to Hot Topic. Then we got a set of pops for the anime Demon Slayer, which I'm going to try to pronounce these as best as possible, but I'm probably going to butcher a lot of the names, so bear with me. For the common pops, we have Tanjiro Kamado, Nezuko Kamado, Zenitsu Agasuma, Inosuke Hashabira, Muzan Kibusuji, a pop anime moments of Tanjiro versus Ryu. Now we got exclusive pops of Jiyu Tomioka, which will be a AAA anime exclusive, a variant of Tanjiro doing a Kagura dance, which will be exclusive to Galactic Toys, and it has its own 1 in 6 glow in the dark chase, along with a Chalice Collectibles exclusive Flocked and Nosuke, which will have a 1 in 6 unmasked flock chase, along with box lunch exclusive pops of Tanjiro with Dragon, which will be a glow in the dark pop, Nezuko in box pop deluxe, and then we have Tanjiro with mask. For the pop icons lineup, we have Vincent Price, Brandon Breyer from Brightburn. And then the last announcement for day 2 of reveals is a new wave of Nightmare Before Christmas Funko Pops, which we got ourselves a train set of Jack Skellington with train, Sally with cat cart, Oogie with dice cart, Zero with duck cart, Mayor with ghost cart, a Funko Shop exclusive Tearaway face clown in box cart, and then a Hot Topic exclusive Zero with duck cart that'll be glow in the dark. Artist series pops of Oogie Boogie, which there's 2 variants. One is a kind of pink and black common, and the other is a green and black exclusive going to the Funko Shop, with Sally variants, which one is kind of this lighter green that's a common, and one is kind of black that will be going to Hot Topic, along with a common Mayor, a Diamond Collection Mayor with its own 1 in 6 chase that will be a Hot Topic exclusive. So kicking off with the Hex Girls 3-pack. I don't really watch Scooby-Doo or watched Scooby-Doo all that much as a kid as terms to the animation version, but these are some pretty cool pops, especially because we're used to seeing like variants of Scooby-Doo constantly being made. So it's a nice refreshing piece to see where it's not a repeat of Scooby-Doo. These Disney Villains Pop Deluxe sets, these are wicked. I love what Funko is doing with these Disney Pops, where they're adding a base and they're kind of making it a Pop Deluxe, but only charging you the price for a 4-inch pop. And out of the commons and the exclusives, I think my favorite one has to be the Box Lunch exclusive Skull Dr. Facilier, just because I love the overall detail involved with this. The Pop Deluxe sets of Disney Villains on the Thrones are also pretty cool in their own ways. The 10-inch variants of Maleficent as Dragon is really cool. They did the 4-inch for Box Lunch last year, and now they're doing a common version with a glow-in-the-dark exclusive going to Amazon. So I think there's going to be a decent amount of people that are going to want to get that. The Diamond Collection Elvira, this isn't too bad. I don't think it's the best, but I don't think it's the worst Elvira pop we've had. There's definitely been some better Elvira pops, but I can only imagine that the dress is going to look really nice in Diamond Collection form. Danny with Binks from Hocus Pocus. This is super refreshing for Hocus Pocus because we've been constantly seeing just different variants of the Sanderson sisters for this lineup. To get this is really cool. The Jaws pop movie moments. One word only describes this, and it's the same like I mentioned on the Cop Up or Pass Up video, which little suggestion thingy above to go view that from this past week, is that this is insane. Like, the overall pop movie moments is so sweet. The fact that they have the water as the base, you have the boat just tipping over like that, and I find that at first I thought it kind of took away from the shark biting Quint pop from San Diego Comic-Con, but it actually doesn't, because it's in the point of before the shark is biting Quint. The Halloween pops, which these are okay. I'm kind of sick of seeing a bunch of Michael Myers. Halloween is such a huge franchise of horror movies that they need to start making pops of, let's say, Laurie Strode and especially Dr. Loomis. I think that would be sweet. I'm a little confused about the bloody variants because the glam shots show one thing, the Funko app shows another thing. So, example with the 10-inch, I feel like there should be more blood on the 10-inch figure, which it shows it on the Funko app. It doesn't show it on the glam shot. So I'm hoping when I see like this pop in person, or when people start posting that they got this, that there actually is more blood than there is, because the blood's kind of disappointing on the glam shot right now on this Michael Myers pop. The Stitch in the Jack-o'-lantern pop, I'm not a big fan of this. We've seen so many Stitch pops, so to me it's just, hey, let's put Stitch in a jack-o'-lantern costume because it's Halloween based. I think it's time we need more characters than just Stitch for Lilo and Stitch. They've showed it in the mystery minis that are coming out soon, or they might be out already, that there are more than just Lilo and Stitch. The Wave of Gremlins, which this is amazing. I think this is great. I love the new mold of Gizmo. Even the Gremlin with 3D glasses is cool because the 3D glasses are actually a take on that New York Comic Con vinyl figure that they made a couple years ago. And it's really cool that they're doing these in pop form now. The 10-inch variant of Gizmo is also cool. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to get that. And then having a new character in Daffy is really, really cool. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want this pop when it drops on the Funko shop, especially MD Shady here. The Diamond Collection Emily from The Corpse Bride. This is pretty cool. I mean, I don't think there's much of a difference between the two pops, except one is a Diamond Collection, one is not, from the announcement we got last year at Funkoween. I do like the idea of this being Diamond Collection for the sake of the dress, and I think of the corset that is on her head. I think that's really cool. Other than that, I don't want to see like the hair being glittered or anything else. The wave of Demon Slayer pops, which these were the most hyped set of pops throughout the entire 5 days of Funkoween. People have been waiting for Demon Slayer pops for I don't know how long now, and I actually tried watching the show because I was so interested in how detailed these pops were that I was actually going to watch this show, and I can't find any sites. Like Netflix doesn't have it, even though they have like every other anime that seems like Funko has made. And every time that I see anything Demon Slayer, the first thing I always think of is that character with the boar head. Like every picture I see always seems to be that character just pops out of nowhere. The one character on the bottom right, and I think MD also mentioned this in this past week's Which Is Better video, that he kind of looks like a demonic Michael Jackson, which I kind of agree on that. Skipping over to the Chalice Collectibles exclusive pops, which I think these are my favorite pops of this set, just because it totally makes sense for like the boar head to be flocked, and even the whole outfit with the pants and everything is also flocked, and it totally makes sense. And overall, surprisingly, not only did the exclusive single pop sold out, but the 6-pop bundle also sold out on Chalice Collectibles website. To get that chase, I guess, is a really big deal for Demon Slayer fans, and I guess it's pretty cool. I like the common one better just because I like the overall design of that boar head. And the one thing I do like about that character is the eyes, because it's something we've never really seen before, where it's kind of like the light blue on the outside and then you have that darker blue on the inside. I think that's really cool. Going on to Vincent Price. I don't really know who Vincent Price is, but I know there's a bit of mixed hype because there's people who know who Vincent Price is. There's people who don't know who Vincent Price is. The character from Brightburn, pretty cool mold of a character. I like the overall head sculpt, but once again, I haven't seen Brightburn, and there is a mixed reaction because there's people who don't like Brightburn, but there's people who do like Brightburn. And then we have the Nightmare Before Christmas pops. Now, that train set is probably the best thing of this entire set. I do like the pop rides, though, with Jack Skellington and the sack bag there, because that's with Santa Claus inside. I think that's when he comes back from the Christmas world. The Artist Series are all right. I'm not really a big fan of the Artist Series pops. And then the Diamond Collection pops, it's like, I don't really care about it. I feel like if I just go grab the common mayor, then I'm perfectly fine.
Okay, first thing I'm going to say is that these Funkoween announcements have been awesome. Starting off with the first announcement, I feel like I always say this, probably said this 3 or 4 times now that we've been doing this whole podcast, is that a really cool Scooby-Doo pop comes out and I go, oh yeah, now it's time. Now it's time for me to start collecting Scooby-Doo pops. But it is now officially time for MD Shady to start collecting Scooby-Doo pops. I love Scooby-Doo. It is one of my favorite cartoons of all time. We have a 3-pack of the Hex Girls, and wow, this is amazing. I loved the Hex Girls as a kid, and I'm assuming a lot of people did as well. The Hex Girls were awesome, and I'm so excited to see this 3-pack. There's just too many good things I could say about this 3-pack. And then we have these Disney villain announcements, and these are awesome. I agree with you. I really love the fact that they are kind of doing these deluxe pops, but only charging for 4-inch pops. That is just amazing because you get so much money's worth, I guess. And they look great. I mean, when you look at these compared to their past 4-inch pops, it's just night and day. These look so much better. The 3 villains on the thrones, those are also great. Then Maleficent as Dragon. This is kind of cool to see it as a jumbo-sized pop. The Diamond Collection Elvira. We've seen so many Elviras before. I think I've owned 2 and I sold both of them. I think this will look really good. I think this is going to be a solid Diamond Collection. Like you said, the dress is going to look nice, and they didn't overdo it where it's like, oh, now her hair is also Diamond Collection, because that just doesn't make sense. But the dress being Diamond Collection, this might be one of my favorite Elvira pops, at least. The Danny pop from Hocus Pocus. And again, I said the exact same thing that DK said, where it is super refreshing not to see the Sanderson sisters for Hocus Pocus. The GameStop slash EB Games exclusive Jaws movie moments. This pop is spectacular. It's weird to say, but I think this might be one of the best pops of all time, perhaps. That is a very bold statement, but when you look at this thing as a whole package, that is just breathtaking when you think about a pop. That just is so crazy. We've seen some, let's say, movie moments or TV moments kind of pops before, but this is just kind of on another level. Then we have these Halloween pops, which are pretty cool. There's something about them. The new ones look kind of weird to me, I guess. They're good. They're solid pops, but I really do enjoy the original, which usually isn't the case when you look at Funko when you compare a character like, I don't even know who to pull up, for example, but there's so many cases where there is an original sculpt from, let's say, 2015, and then you look at one from 2018 or 19 of the same character, and it's like, wow, Funko's really stepping their game up. And now here we are in 2021, and they're doing the same thing, but I just think that that pop was already so great that these just look a little weird to me. Then we have the jack-o'-lantern attire Stitch. I do agree with you. We do need more Lilo and Stitch characters. There's so many you can do. There's so many characters out of all of the, 3 or 4 movies that they've done, the TV series that they did. There's so many characters they could do, and unfortunately we're not seeing those, but that also doesn't really make sense as a Funkoween announcement. So I'm very happy with this, I guess you could say. And I think it turned out really well. The jack-o'-lantern actually looks like Stitch's face. It's not just a kind of generalized jack-o'-lantern face. It looks like Stitch, and I think that is one of the big details with this pop that kind of puts it above just being another Stitch pop. Arguably my favorite announcement of potentially the year so far. We have the new Gremlins pops. About a week and a half prior to this announcement, I was thinking, because I had recently just watched Gremlins 2 again, and I was thinking, wow, they have this license. Why are they not making more different Gremlins? And specifically, I said, why is there no Daffy? Because Daffy is just so out there, such a zany, crazy character, not only for the fact of being a gremlin, but even when he is a Mogwai, he has a pretty big role in Gremlins 2, the movie. And then I seen this Daffy, and this is awesome. There's no better kind of Daffy pop I could think of than him bursting out of the kind of pot of pasta. This pop is great. I'm so happy that Daffy happened, especially after me wanting it so bad just a week and a half prior. It almost feels like Funko has microchipped me and they're listening to my thoughts, which could be a good thing, I'm not going to lie. And then we have the new gizmos, and these are also pretty dang cool. Movie theater gremlin is what I'm going to call it. I know that's not the official name, but I do not believe this is Stripe, just for the fact that there are so many gremlins in the movie theater scene. The Diamond Collection Hot Topic exclusive Emily. This is pretty cool. I like this sculpt better than the original one. And this huge announcement of Demon Slayer pops. This is pretty cool. I'm not a fan of Demon Slayer, but I feel like I probably should be because these character designs are awesome. I'm a pretty big fan, I guess you could say, of a few different animes, so I don't know why I haven't gotten to this one, and I know it's pretty big. People love this, obviously, like DK had said. This was one of the most hyped announcements of Funkoween 2021. And yeah, that one character in the bottom right corner definitely looks like Michael Jackson. I mean, there's no denying that. It looks just like Michael Jackson. don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's pretty cool. And then I guess, again, I will talk about the Chalice collectibles. These are wicked. This is unbelievable. I love this character, and I agree with you 100% where you kind of think of this show, and this is the kind of character you see is this guy who has the boar head. This is great. This is a super pop, I guess you could say. One of the better announcements for maybe anime for this year so far. Vincent Price. Now, this is pretty cool, but it's not quite what I want it to be. I know who Vincent Price is because I am a huge fan of, what is it called? Oh God, I can't be that big of a fan. I am a huge fan of the hilarious House of Frightenstein. I watched that show so much as a kid. I know it's pretty old, so for my age, I should not really be a huge fan of it, but somehow it was in my wheelhouse, I guess you could say, of something that I watched all the time before going to school. I believe it came out in like 1967 or something like that. Then we have this Brightburn Pop. Yeah, I've never seen this either, mostly because I would assume this is a horror movie, and I don't really watch a ton of horror movies unless they're kind of like something like Scream or something like Child's Play. Those are kind of my horror. The pop looks cool. He's elevated. The head is something different that we don't see very often, so that's pretty cool. And then another huge announcement of the Nightmare Before Christmas Pops. This train set is awesome. I really like it. I don't think there's one that's better than the other with this one. I think these are all pretty equally awesome. I think this will sell very, very well because it's just such a neat idea. And I would like to see maybe Top Pops do a video on these and maybe add this to his Funko City, I believe is what he called it. This would be a cool addition to that. The Pop Rides is also pretty cool. I don't think it's the best announcement out of these Nightmare Before Christmas Pops, but it is a pretty cool pop. The art series, again, I'm not a huge fan of art series, but I don't mind these ones as much. Usually I don't like art series, but there's something happening with that I kind of like. And then we have the Diamond Collection Mayor. And yeah, I don't know, it's Diamond Collection. We're usually not a huge fan of Diamond Collection, but this might be good. And again, you could get the common or you could get the chase. It's almost the same thing, I guess. They're both solid, but I think I would stick with the originals rather than Diamond Collection.
All right, so now we're going to move on to day 3 and day 4 reveals for Funkoween. So kicking off, we have ourselves a new variant of Carrie from, of course, the movie Carrie, which will be a Walmart exclusive. Some Foodies pops. We got Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry, which will all be Funko Shop exclusives. A new lineup of pops called DC Dia de los, I think it's called, but in English it means Day of the Dead, which we have ourselves common pops of Bane, Jessica Cruz Green Lantern, Batman, Harley Quinn, Blue Beetle, and the Joker, with exclusive pops of a glow-in-the-dark The Joker going to Amazon, a glow-in-the-dark Batman going to Hot Topic, the Flash, which will be going to the Funko Shop, and then we have a glow-in-the-dark variant of Bane, which will be an Entertainment Earth exclusive. A new lineup of pops called Frightkins, which we have ourselves Fangelina and Skitterina, which will be Hot Topic exclusives. La Lorna from The Curse of La Lorna, which has its own 1 in 6 chase. And the last announcement for day 3 is a new wave of Walking Dead pops, which we have Maggie, Carol, Daryl with Dog, and then a Walking Dead supply drop exclusive Negan. Day 4 reveals, we have ourselves a pop game covers of Geralt from The Witcher 3, which will be an EB Games / GameStop exclusive. Some more Venomized pops, which we have a Venomized Kingpin, which will be going to the Funko Shop, and then a Venomized Jack-O-Lantern, which will be a Hot Topic exclusive. Some more Universal Monsters pops, which we have Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein, and Wolfman, which all will be exclusive to Walgreens. Then we got ourselves some Marvel pops, one being Hulk, which actually, even though it's not listed here, there is a glow-in-the-dark Hulk exclusive to Hot Topic, but that is the chase variant of this version where the common is just a non-glow-in-the-dark. And then we have a glow-in-the-dark variant of Zombie Thor for the Marvel Zombies lineup exclusive to Entertainment Earth. 2 variants of Ash from Evil Dead, which we got ourselves a 1 in 6 bloody chase variant to go along with that. And then we have pops for the movie They Live, which we have John Nada, and then we have the character Alien with its own 1 in 6 black and white chase. So kicking off with Carrie, this is okay, but Whenever I think of Carrie, I think of the scene where she's covered in blood, and they already did a Funko Pop of that. So I feel like if you're not a huge fan of Carrie, but you want to get a pop of Carrie, this pop specifically is not the pop to get. Then we have the foodies pops of the different cereal ad icons. I knew that there was going to eventually be a time where these were going to be made. I do like the Count Chocula for the fact that he's actually holding a, I guess, jug there where you normally would carry like milk or water, but in this instance, it's got to be milk because who has cereal with water? I'm sure that even though a lot of people are not foodies fans, these are going to sell out and these will be not eventual like grails, but they'll be pretty close to the point where maybe one day they will be in the three digits. The Day of the Dead DC pops, which I think these are pretty cool. I think this is a cool idea for, let's say, you got the Marvel Blacklight pops. Let DC have the Day of the Dead variants. I think, in my opinion, half of these are great and half of these are meh. The ones that I think are great are actually basically the pops on the second page. The glow in the dark Bane, I think, is the best glow in the dark exclusive. The best non glow in the dark pop is actually the Funko Shop exclusive Flash. I think the way the face sculpt is and the way they made that kind of skeleton face to go along with it is really, really cool. And a lot of people are really liking the Blue Beetle, and they aren't liking the fact that they made this Blue Beetle before a normal Blue Beetle. And I'm kind of disappointed in the glow in the dark Joker, just because I felt like maybe like his hair should have been glow in the dark, mostly because green is better glow in the dark than white. The Frightkin's going to Hot Topic. These to me are just the Hot Topic version of Wetmore Forest pops that you can get at Funko HQ. And in my opinion, these will 100% be shelf sitter pops, and these will end up going into that $5 clearance aisle. Got ourselves La Lorna. I think the chase is really cool, but I think the common is not the greatest. I feel like people will be hunting for this chase, and this common will be a shelf sitter at, let's say, an EB Games or a GameStop, possibly going down to $5. The Walking Dead pops. I know a lot of people like this because we haven't seen like a whole wave of Walking Dead pops in a while. And it makes sense because the 10th season is happening right now of The Walking Dead. And I think it's the last season, if I'm not mistaken. But I feel like they've been saying it's the last season for like 3 seasons. I think the most hype pop actually is Negan. This Negan, although it's a Walking Dead supply drop exclusive, it actually says on the glam shot, early access for supply drop subscribers. So I think it's a Walking Dead supply drop pop, but it's a first to market exclusive. The Witcher pop game covers. This is really cool that they're actually expanding albums and comic book covers to game covers, because I was actually dead set when we eventually do like a top 10 wish list for next year that I was going to say, let's see pop movie covers. But I feel like with pop game covers, they're probably already in development for movie covers. It's just a matter of when it's going to get announced, and it probably will be announced by the end of the year if I'm going to predict right. And the biggest question out of this is, what is number one? Because this is number 2 in the set. So this opens up a floodgate of some pretty sweet covers. Like example, because the game actually celebrates its 20th anniversary in November, a Halo pop game covers. What about Gears of War? Possibly a little shout out there to our fandom related podcast at the end of the month on Sonic the Hedgehog. Could we get a Sonic the Hedgehog pop game covers? The Venomized pops, these aren't bad, but these aren't great either. The Universal Monsters. I hate these. Like the only one I will give credit, I like the Wolfman because it's a huge updated mold compared to the original Wolfman. But the Dracula, the only difference between the last variant we got and this one is that it's got nothing in his hands this time. The Red Hulk and the Zombie Thor, these are okay. I don't see where everyone is getting their hype from as terms to the Red Hulk. I don't see that appealing, whether it's the common or the chase variant. And then I think everybody or most people don't like Marvel Zombies, but I kind of admit that I like the green touch on the glow in the dark aspect of this Marvel Zombies pop, but it's not really appealing to me. Evil Dead pops, I don't know how I feel about the blood though on the face and how it's made on this Funko Pop. It reminds me of those old ghost face scream masks where you have like the pump and then the blood pours down like that. That's kind of what this reminds me of. I felt like the blood could have been a little bit better. I actually think the blood looks better on the Funko soda they actually announced for Ash for Evil Dead than they did on this Funko Pop. But it's still cool we got Evil Dead, especially for its 40th anniversary. Then we got They Live Funko Pops. You can't go wrong with Mr. Roddy Piper. This is a pretty cool pop.
Okay, so starting off with this new Carry Pop, I'm kind of going to go against DK on this one, and not in the fact that this is a bad Carry Pop. I do agree that the bloody one that we've had before is really good. That is kind of the Carry Pop you'd want. But I do feel like a lot of fans that are huge into horror and collecting horror stuff are going to want this, and I think it's cool to get a non-bloody Carry. The foodies of Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Booberry. I'm not a huge fan of the foodies just because I don't really agree with just putting eyes and arms on food products. But I kind of like these. I feel like I will try to get these because, like you said, I do think these will go up in price just because they are three of the most iconic mascots, I guess, when it comes to General Mills and I guess all of cereal. The DC Pops, these are cool, and I do agree. Let DC have this and let Marvel have the Blacklight Pops, even though I think there would be some cool Blacklight DC Pops, which I think we've seen a couple before. I think there was a Batman and maybe a Joker. I don't remember exactly. I like these. I like the kind of sugar skull fact about these. And I couldn't agree more with you with the ones that you like. Then we have the Frightkins. And yes, I do agree that these probably will be shelf sitters eventually. I don't think these are going to sell like crazy because it's not a property, really. It's just something that Funko has come up with. The pops for the Curse of La Lorna. This is cool. I also do agree with you where people are going to hunt for that chase and the common will be more of a sitter. But that being said, both of these pops are great. The common is pretty cool. I like the idea. I would like to see it in person to see how well you can see the face behind the corset because who knows exactly how transparent that will be. But then the chase itself is really awesome because not only is the head sculpt different by a lot, you also have a different body sculpt, which is really awesome to see with the chase. The new announcement for The Walking Dead. Yeah, I could see there being some hype because it's a whole new announcement, but I'm just shocked that Walking Dead pops are still going on. There's been so many characters. I mean, I'm pretty sure every character here already has their own Funko Pop. So really, and like I feel like we've seen a Daryl Dixon that is very similar to that one. I do see how Negan would be kind of the most wanted one. But again, if you want to have it first, get the supply drop. If you don't really care about that, then wait because it'll be a common, I'm sure, eventually. The games cover Geralt from The Witcher. This is pretty damn cool. I'm not a super huge fan of The Witcher. I like the game. It's just not one of my favorite games. But like you said, where you mentioned kind of the floodgates, I do believe they are now officially cracked open. Yeah, like you said, there's so much they could do. It'd be so cool to see Sonic. I do think that probably number one in this might be Halo, but I do think the next announcement we will see is another franchise that you brought up, and that is Gears of War, mostly because we've seen a lot of Gears of War in pops in the past. There's that Gears of War kind of pop game on the App Store. It's just a pretty decent franchise for Funko to go along with, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next announcement we see for this. But this is really good. I think it looks great, and I think it will sell pretty well. I feel like each EB Games or GameStop will get maybe 2 to 3 of these, and I think they'll sell pretty fast. The Venomized pops, and you guys know by now how I feel about these. Not a huge fan, but I do think it's cool that Kingpin is getting his own Venomized pop. And I agree with you, these aren't the best. They're not the worst. So they kind of fall in the middle, which doesn't really give me a lot to talk about them. But again, I do think it's cool that they kind of are giving Kingpin kind of a spot in the spotlight, I guess you could say. The Universal Monsters, I like these. I do agree with you that the Wolfman is the best. It looks good. It's a cool new update. The Dracula is all right. And then the Bride of Frankenstein is also all right. It's pops we've seen before, just new. The glow in the dark red Hulk, it's pretty cool. I do like this. The Thor, yeah, it's kind of cool. There's some cool glow in the dark aspects about this because a lot of it does glow, but again, it's just another one of those zombie pops that I don't really care about. Ash from the Evil Dead. With that chase version, I could not agree more with you that it does look like one of those ghost face masks. And I can say this because for Halloween, I had one of those masks where you pump the blood and it kind of looks exactly like that. Whether it's realistic or not, I don't know. I think it could have been a little bit better. And then we have the They Live Pops, Rowdy Piper. I need to watch this movie. I mean, it is super iconic, especially when you have a WWF/WWE superstar in it, especially when you have one of those super iconic lines. I think all three of these pops look really good. I don't know if there's one that's better than the other. I really do like the pink and blue. I think that looks very good.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the final day of Funkoween Reveals plus the random surprise announcement on May 31st. So we got ourselves a Day of the Dead Gabriel Iglesias pop, which was exclusive to Fluffy.com and was limited to 4,000 pieces. A Books A Million exclusive glow in the dark and translucent Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. Two new pops for the Dungeons and Dragons lineup, which we have Strahd and a 6-inch variant of Mimic, which come with the D20 dice and will be exclusive to EB Games/GameStop. We have a new wave of the Office Pops, which we got ourselves Michael Scott with the golden ticket, which will be exclusive to FYE. Common Pops of Kevin Malone as Dunder Mifflin superhero, Dwight Schrute with Pumpkinhead, Oscar Martinez with the ankle attachments, and then we have a Target exclusive Dwight Schrute with Blowtorch. Pops for the movie Mandy, which we have a bloody variant of Red Miller, Mandy with an evil 1 in 6 chase, and then an evil variant of Red Miller, which will be a Legion Shop exclusive. An unmasked variant of Sam with the lollipop from Trick or Treat, which will be exclusive to Hot Topic. And the last Funkoween reveal we have is a new variant of Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the final announcement for not only May 2021, but for this podcast overall, USA Dream Team from 1992 basketball pops, which we have ourselves Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, and David Robinson. These were announced by Pop Culture, and they will be exclusives, most likely Target exclusives in the US, and essentially that would be Toys R Us exclusives here in Canada. So kicking off with the Gabriel Iglesias Funko Pop. I don't know what it is, but I find this variant of Gabriel Iglesias to be very cool. I do like these better than actually a lot of the Day of the Dead DC pops. Not all of them, but I think they're better than most of them. And I think what is also cool with this is that I think Gabriel Iglesias even mentioned that all the pops, which there are only 4,000 of them, will all be signed. Then we have the Cheshire Cat. This is okay. I like the translucent effect better than the glow in the dark effect. I feel like they should have just taken out the glow in the dark effect and just kept the translucent effect with this pop. I think the translucent effect looks pretty nice, and I would like to see how this turns out in person. The Dungeons and Dragons pops. First of all, it's cool how you're getting a 2-for-1 deal where you get an item with it. We've seen pop in pin bundles, we have seen pop in buddies. Now we have pop in dice, which is pretty unique, honestly. Strahd is okay, but then this Mimic character is something crazy, something insane that we've never really seen in Funko form before, where this character, clearly by the name Mimic, I'm going to assume because I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, mimics other characters in the game. So for it to mimic a Funko Pop box of an already existing Funko Pop is very unique. And I also like the dice for this better than the one that comes with Strahd, mainly because it's not just blue, there's some sort of effect to it, it looks like, from the glam shot. And my biggest question about this is, if someone were to get this, would you have it in box or would you have it out of box? Because it seems like regardless, there is a box right there. The new wave of the Office Pops, which of course I'm ecstatic that we got some more Office Pops, trying to get a complete set. The majority of these are cool, and I've been waiting for the idea, and finally Funko does it, where they should just do Halloween sets of Office Pops because for every season, or at least I think every season since season 2, there has been a Halloween episode and there's been characters with different costumes in every Halloween episode. My only problem with this set is that 2 of these pops are not a part of any of the Halloween episodes, which are actually both of the exclusive pops. They are not from Halloween episodes. The Dwight with the blowtorch is actually from the episode where Dwight does like a fire safety thing and he kind of heats up the doorknobs because, of course, when you do like a fire escape, if the doorknob is hot, then that means that's the room that is on fire. My favorite of this set is the Dwight with the pumpkin head because it's such a cool scene, but also it's actually been a requested variant of Dwight since I think the first wave of Office Pops came out. So it's cool that we finally get this, even though also the FYE exclusive Michael Scott, essentially as Willy Wonka, is not from a Halloween episode. It kind of makes sense because he is wearing a costume. I feel like, especially with Dwight, like the Target exclusive, they could have replaced it with a different Halloween costume variant of a pop. Example, one that I've been wanting and actually is a Halloween costume variant is Pam with the cat outfit. We could see one of the other requested pops being the Joker 3-pack, where you have Dwight, Creed, and Kevin all dressed up as the Joker, or even one of Jim's costumes, which they've only done the 3-hole punch. So they could have easily put a Jim even. I wouldn't even care if we got our 7th Jim, as long as it was one of his Halloween costumes, because it totally makes sense. Pops for the movie Mandy, which I've never seen this. The only thing I know about this is that the main character, which I think it's Red Miller, is actually played by Nicolas Cage. These are pretty cool, but it's not really my cup of tea. The Unmasked Sam with the lollipop, I think that this, in my opinion, is the best Sam that they've done for the Trick or Treat lineup. I know that's a little bit of a bold statement because even we got that Spirit Halloween Deluxe pop that probably people would think is a little better, but just the head sculpt alone is just something we've never really seen before. And then we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface pop. This is okay. There's a bit of mixed hype because, yes, it has quite a bit of detail and it's an updated mold from the original one. But there's also people who mentioned that it kind of looks like that Leatherface has a tortilla wrap on his face. Then we have the NBA Dream Team pops, which these are okay. There's nothing really much to say. I guess it's cool we have another Scottie Pippen.
This version of Gabriel Iglesias is pretty cool. I would probably say it is my second favorite, even though it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I do think it does look cool. It's also pretty nice that it comes signed. I mean, 4,000 pieces. Signing 4,000 things has got to take quite a bit of time out of your day or maybe even your week. So that's cool of him to have all of these pops being signed. The Books a Million Glow in the Dark Cheshire Cat. I'm torn about this one. I like the idea of the transparency. I'm not so sure about the glow in the dark. I think the glow in the dark will look cool, but I also think it kind of takes away from how cool that transparency would look. So I don't know. It's another one of those pops where I'd have to see it in person before I had a dead set opinion on it. More Dungeons and Dragons pops, and these are interesting. Mimic is obviously the star here. That is just so crazy. It's weird, and I would like to kind of hear the answers of kind of that question you asked is if you buy this, do you take it out of the box because it is a box, or do you leave it in the box where it's kind of like boxception, which is pretty neat. I think this is so cool because we've never seen anything like this. I'm debating on buying this just so I could put it next to my gelatinous cube because I think both of those pops are so innovative, and also it comes with D20s, which is so fitting, especially for Dungeons and Dragons. And I feel like that's a kind of D20 that you kind of have to keep in the box. I feel like that's something that you wouldn't really want to play with because I feel like it is more of a collector's piece than anything. A new set of The Office. This is pretty cool. Like you said, not all these pops are Halloween related, even though they're all pretty neat. I mean, pretty iconic for all these. I don't think there's one that I like the most because I don't think any of these are very crazy, something that I super wanted. I do like the Kevin Malone because he is one of my favorite characters. And I also do like the Dwight for the fact that a lot of people did want that jack-o'-lantern head Dwight. So it does make sense. Then we have the pops for Mandy, and I have never heard of this before. And if you would have asked me who I think plays that character, I would not have said Nicolas Cage. That does not give me Nicolas Cage vibes at all. I probably would have said John, what's his last name? Krasinski or whatever, Jim from The Office. That's probably what I would have said because it looks more like him than it looks like Nicolas Cage, in my opinion. These pops are all right. I mean, it kind of looks like Red Hulk and the red version of She-Hulk when you have that chase and that Legion exclusive. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how these will sell. Sam from Trick or Treat. This is cool. It's definitely not one of my favorite Sams, though. I do own that Spirit Halloween exclusive, and I think that's a pretty solid pop. Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And yeah, I could see that. It doesn't really quite look like a face mask, I guess, made out of someone's face. It kind of, I guess, looks like a tortilla, I guess you could say. I like how there's blood on the chainsaw and how there's blood on the apron, but I feel like it should have also had maybe even just a little bit of blood on the mask, and that would have went a long ways of kind of making this pop have some more detail and making the face look a little better than what it does look like. And then we have the basketball dream team pops. These are cool. My biggest gripe about these, because I do think it's a good idea, but it's why are these all in the same pose? They could have easily given us 3 different poses. It's not like they don't have the molds to make them. And I feel like that would have made this set of Dream Team pops just a lot better than kind of having the same pop with just a different head sculpt on the top.
All right, so I guess now it's time to move on to our segment, The Update. So, anyone who's new to the podcast, The Update is the segment where we essentially update, play of words there, on our top 10 list that we would have done last week, because now we are officially over and done with May 2021, or as I would like to say, and probably will say for the last time for the next year, International DK Wrestler Month for Funko Pops, and we are going into June. Without further ado, let's kick off like usual with MD Shady and what pops he had added to his top 10 list, because if you want to listen to the original one, click the little suggestion thingy above for last week's episode.
Coming in now at number 6 on my list is the Jaws movie moment. And I don't think giving it number 6 gives it justice because of how good of a pop this is. Like I said earlier, I do believe that this is potentially a candidate for one of the top 50 Funko Pops of all time because of how great the detail is. Coming in at number 5 on my list, and that is the movie theater gremlin. I don't want to call it Stripe because I feel like he kind of already has his own pop, even though they called it gremlin. But this is solid. It's really cool to see a movie theater version of a gremlin, so it definitely had to make my list. Coming in at number 4, I have another pop from that announcement, and that is the Target exclusive Flocked Gizmo. He also has 3D glasses, which is cool, and he's not wearing them. He's kind of just holding them, which I think was a good idea because it doesn't take away from that awesome new head sculpt for Gizmo. Then coming in at number 3, I have the Hot Topic exclusive Hex Girls. This is such a cool 3-pack. I'm so happy about this. It's going to kick off my Scooby-Doo pop collection because they just hold such an amazing spot in my heart while watching Scooby-Doo, and I think the 3-pack turned out very, very well. My number 1 is now the Funko Shop exclusive Daffy. Mostly because it is a really great detailed pop, but it's also a pop that I was just thinking a week and a half prior to the announcement of why have they not made a Daffy Gremlin pop. So it has now dethroned my number 1 pop from my top 10 list, and now that pop is number 2. If you want to find out what pop that was, you're going to have to listen to the last edition of a Funko Popcast.
All right, so now my top 10 list for my update. So starting off now at number 10, in which that is the Hot Topic exclusive Unmasked Sam with Lollipop. I think that pop is very unique, and in my opinion, the head sculpt alone definitely deserves to be on the top 10 list. I didn't really have much of a personal reaction to it all that much besides the detail, which is why it's at the bottom of the list. Coming in at number 9, it is the EB Games / GameStop exclusive 6-inch Mimic with D20 dice. I think this is super unique. And if we know anything of past Dungeons and Dragons pops, whether they are exclusives or Comic-Con exclusives, people are going to hate them at first. They're going to say, oh, I'm not going to buy this, but you're going to end up buying it and it's going to become pricey. Just look at Gelatinous Cube from last year. Then coming in at number 7, it is the Pumpkinhead Dwight Schrute from The Office. This is a really cool, unique Office pop, and it honestly has been a long time coming because a lot of people have been wanting this pop, like I had mentioned, and definitely, in my opinion, is the best Halloween pop as terms to these Office pops. Coming in now at number 4 is the Chalice Collectibles exclusive Flocked Inosuke. Botch that, I know that. And I'm talking about the more common version than the chase version because I love the mold of that boar head and then just overall how it's not one thing that's flocked, but basically a bunch of parts are flocked. I just love the overall detail for something I've never seen and is making me want to watch Demon Slayer essentially now. But now at number 2, it is the EB Games / GameStop exclusive Jaws pop movie moments. This pop is insane, like I mentioned. So much detail. Probably has to be the best pop in the Jaws lineup now, considering that we like it better than the Jaws biting Quint pop from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. I definitely think that maybe some of these pops from Funkoween, especially this one for sure, are huge candidates for our eventual top 50 Funko Pops of 2021 list that will actually be released on New Year's Eve this year. Maybe this will make it. Who knows? We still have basically 6 months left of 2021, but so far 2021 is looking great. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this week's podcast, make sure you smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and let me know what your favorite pops were from Funkoween. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do on this channel in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. Also, if you haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at a Funko Popcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this week's edition of a Funko Popcast and hope to see you guys next week. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Peace in, peace out.